Hey everyone, 136 days of Love Expanded. Today I have a pretty cool topic that I want to talk about, and it is some weird light. Let's see if this will fix it. Maybe? The topic is, what is real love? Yeah, what's real love? And so, you're human, you have a heartbeat. I have this weird light, sorry. Which means that you know love. You are an expert at love. The only, there we go. Sorry about that. My light isn't on. I should probably put it on, but I'm not going to. Hey Brian. Okay, so what is true love? The cool thing about this is that every single answer has come from you guys. I asked this on my Facebook and I want to share it with all of you. And I also want to share you even how I came on this journey. So about, I believe 10 or 11 years ago now, I got divorced. But when we got divorced, when my husband said, oh, you can't do this, then we need to get divorced, I thought, what? Why would we get divorced? I still love you. This is absurd. Just because our beliefs didn't match anymore, why would we get divorced? And so that put me on this thing, but ultimately there was no way that him and I could be together. We were too different in too many ways for things to go like this. Our lives were not going to parallel each other. They had gone this way and they were now going this in a different direction, and that was fine, but still I was so perplexed because I still loved him, and I mean, the day before he had loved me, so I'm guessing he did too, but there was no way that we could live together. So I went on this journey to uncover love. Like, what is love, right? And so in that journey, I started interviewing people, writing about it, searching myself. I read stuff. Then what I did is I stopped reading everything for about a year. And all I did is meditated and went within and try to figure it out, like, for myself. Like, what is love? And what I came to is all of the answers that are here, and I want to share them all with you because they're so beautiful and so awesome and so amazing. In fact, when I was at that writer's retreat, it reminded me why it's very hard for me to say that I'm an expert at love, because I'm just human. I'm just like you, and every single one of us is potentially an expert at love. The only thing that makes me any different than you is perhaps that I have been studying this and dedicated my life to it, but that is pretty much the only reason, like, unless we're all love, we all have love inside of us, and we all are basically these beautiful light and love beings. And at this retreat, we had to write down our very hardest experience, a 2-page document, and use good prose and beautiful language and all the rest. And so part of it was so that it would be very, very hard, and anything after that would be easy to write. But then we shared it with each other, and there was this beautiful, beautiful thing that happened in each story. In the hardest parts of our lives, there was a breaking point, and everyone turned to love. It was either that they tapped into divine love and realized that they were loved and cared for, and this peace came over them, or it was something in their mind that they thought, oh, okay. And even for me, at my hardest time, that's why I went on this journey too, is because I had tapped into this divine love that saved me and put me on in this trajectory in a different direction, and I wanted to know everything about it. And so I'm going to read to you some of the ideas of what it is. And I love the very last one that I've gotten, and it says it so beautifully, and it's a quote, and I'm not sure who the quote is by. It says, "The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao." Now, that means path. So the path that can be spoken is not the eternal path, which is the most beautiful thing to start this off with, because what it's saying is, if we can speak it, it's not the truth of it, right? Which is exactly why this is so complicated, because love is so many things all at once, right? And so, what is true love? Here we go. True love is unconditional love. Well, first, one of my favorites is true love is bacon. True love is ice cream. And true love is grandkids. I love all of those because, yes, Those are things that bring joy. And isn't that what true love is? That joy that springs up, you know, from this deep place within us? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, true love is unconditional love. Shamin means that it has no limitations or parameters on it. You just love to love. Okay, it's acceptance. Losing your mind and your soul in being. Right? So this is a quote from, what is it, Bukowski, which is pretty cool. Okay, but this is really acceptance of your partner, acceptance of yourself, and there was a lot of different answers, and I'm kind of just condensing them down and combining a lot of them. Okay, it's about caring about someone else's well-being above your own. Now this is interesting because it also goes to self-love, where you need to care for yourself first so that you have the strength to care for other people. But I think what he was saying is it's a mother's love. A mother would give her life. A father would give his life for his children or his loved ones sometimes. That's the depth that he's talking about. A mother's love is another one. Self-love. And knowing yourself. There's second chances, which this is beautiful because that means forgiveness. Like forgiving someone, loving someone enough that you would give them a second chance and another one and another one and another second chance. Unless it's hurting you. Then that's not loving to you first, right? Okay, giving someone the power to destroy you and trusting that they won't. That's pretty cool. And I don't have to explain that. We've all felt that and known that because that is ultimate vulnerability. It's opening ourselves up and trusting that that person will take care of this. And you know, sometimes they don't, especially at the end. They use that stuff. But that's okay. Hopefully the love was worth the end. Being vulnerable, being safe, being comfortable with someone, right? Okay. Commitment to love without expecting anything in return. Well, that would be that unconditional love, right? Loving commitment versus attachment and expectation. So loving without expectation, giving all that you have, and yes, reciprocation is nice, but if it doesn't come, that's okay too. It doesn't stop the extent of love and connection that you're giving to that person. It might not look like you want it to look. It might not be a relationship of sorts or an intimate relationship, but you can still love that person no matter what. Love is something to fill the holes inside of us. Now, I would say that yes, for sure. Hopefully, you can fill those holes inside of you with the love that you're cultivating within and then filling them in, because that's the most sustaining. But yes, that's exactly what love does. It fills in all of our parts so that we feel whole again. Now, if you're getting that from someone else, as soon as they leave, you're going to be in the same predicament. So, cultivate that within. And this brings us to the next one. So, this beautiful girl says, in fact, I should just read her answer. She said that she was meditating and had this thought that love doesn't come from outside of ourselves. When we're with someone, we feel love. It's not that we're getting love from them. It's that we're feeling the love from within ourselves that we have that is reflected back on them, and we're feeling that between us. And that's exactly what I came up with in those years of silence. The amazing part about that, when I started reading again, all the things that I came to was already out there. And when there are multiple people experiencing the same thing, for me, that's a sign of truth. So that's a beautiful thing. She says, we feel it come out towards others, but in actuality, they aren't creating. We are just tapping into it inside of ourselves while with them. Beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Okay. Another thing, appreciating both the dark and the light, the shadow and the brightness of ourselves, or having the self and the other. And what this means to me is that it is finding the edge of duality. It's coming, so we live in this world that has these opposites, and love is finding the space, the place where they meet, the edge. And on that edge, if you can balance in that place, there's magic there, there's power there, because it's not denying the dark, it's accepting it fully. And it's not only wanting to be in the light, it's accepting that fully. And then when you reach that place, there's this little magic that happens. So totally experience this, and I'm all for that. In fact, I have a really special place in my heart for that, because that is a very powerful place. And I don't know that many people understand that place. But when they do, healing, ultimate healing takes place. Really, really cool. Okay. Again, acceptance. Loving and allowing others to do the same. It's choice. It's freedom. It's non-judgmental. It's trusting that life will happen, relinquishing control. Okay. Loving for no reason and no object. Again, just loving to love, right? Committing and choosing to love someone despite their flaws. No judgment. Just loving them and choosing that and being okay with that. Here's one. Love is freedom, which we love freedom. But sometimes love doesn't feel free. So he says, loving to the extent that someone feels free. Interesting. Very cool. Meaning this is, so obviously for this person freedom is very important, where for this person safety was very important. Now this brings up a whole nother video. This is the intersection of masculine and feminine. The masculine wound is freedom and the feminine wound is safety. Now I'm not saying man or female, because both of these people were men. I'm saying the energies, the masculine and feminine energies within us. In fact, I'll make a video on the difference between the masculine and feminine energies. So if we had a wound where in the past we had love where we felt restricted, then we're going to seek the freedom. And in the past when we had a love where we didn't feel safe and it wasn't fulfilling enough and it wasn't enough, then we're going to want safety in that. So they're both, again, the place of duality where those two meet. It's beautiful. And this one says, true love never fades, never goes away, which is true. The people that we've loved the most, we'll always have a place in our heart, that love for them. It might look different, we might not manifest it or express it in the same way, but when you break up with someone, instead of trying to break that love by being mean and throwing anger and bad energy at them, just be okay with knowing that it's okay if you love them forever and they'll always have a special place, because that's what real love is. It just stays, and that's okay. And then my very most favorite one, which I'm not going to explain, but this was the ultimate thing that I came to, is that on my search and quest, is that love is everything. He says, the person who wrote this, ultimate power to create and to heal. But I feel and believe that it's even bigger than that. Like, literally, like, love is like everything. You're welcome for the extra likes in that sentence. Meaning, if you really ponder that statement, there's a lot of beauty and truth and magnitude in it. And this statement, this love is everything statement, is why I do what I do, because it's not about relationships. Love is relationships. It's the way we relate. But it's about everything. It's about so much bigger than that. And that is where the magic and beauty is in all of it. So, love, love, love you, and love, love, love me, and have a beautiful, beautiful, love-filled night. But I want to know, for you, what love is. If love is something that I have not said here, please, please, please share it. What is true love to you? Okay. Mwah. They are nice thoughts, aren't they? I'm just reading some comments. They weren't very many. All of you are listening, which is awesome, because you guys know what's up. Okay, bye-bye.